Hello again, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Another installment of what I once in a while from time to time do is to make short videos for you to help you ponder a little bit about things that occupies your mind, but not because they really make sense. It's because you haven't really dove into it deep enough to see its merits and how it's affecting your daily lives and how it's affecting your balance and happiness. So I try to maybe explore something with you together, and maybe that will help you to see, well, you're actually worried about things that you shouldn't be. So today we're going to be talking about the relationship between fear and psychological security. You know, every one of us is searching for that elusive psychological security. You know, I say elusive because we'll never reach psychological security, because the whole life and how we're put together is dynamic. Things are constantly changing. And the mere seeking that state of psychological security is the reason for not attaining it and becoming less secure, which that has a different discussion, long discussion for itself, which that's not the place for it. But so just take that hint and let's go on to what I really want to relate to you. So obviously we are all trying to reach that state of psychological security, and we think we can. So let's say we can. And what psychological security is for us, and for most of us, what we have done is that we have made the very thing that brings you success the same as your psychological security definition. So whatever it is that we do and we are good at it and brings us money, or the kind of what success means to you brings that, you have made that to be the roots and the foundation of your psychological security, which what denies your psychological security is that by having made things, what makes you successful and so on, to represent your stage of psychological security rather than sustainment of basics of needs and comfort to be your contentment point. So in other words, instead of focusing on the things that really is necessary for your survival, and focus on, if I have that, that already gives me that state of security. Instead, you've gone beyond it and neglecting and not focusing on the real important, most important thing, which is our basic survival, and you're focusing on what other things that I like to achieve is where my basic security and psychological security resides. So not attaining the very goal of psychological security has become your fear. So when you have made what you want to achieve, the money, position, all that, to be where your psychological security resides, then the fear of not getting that what you have created to be your psychological security is actually what causes you to be insecure. So having figured out what your psychological security is the reason for you not actually feeling secure, because its dynamics ever changing, and you're focusing on attaining something that is actually not giving you the security you expect, but it just causes you anxiety for a chance of, what if I don't get it? Through thoughts of losing what you have gained is destroying your psychological security and enjoyment of life. The strive for the elusive psychological security and financial security is why you have created fears and unnecessity and uncertainty for you, and worried about losing what you call your achievement of security, which is really how your fears are born. Fears, as we've discussed it in many other videos, there's really no such thing as fear. But fear is born when you compare what it is or what it was to what it is and what it could be, or what you want it to be and what it actually is. Then you become not content, feel something is missing, because you lose the sight of what you really have and you're focusing on what you don't have. And what you don't have becomes your place of security, and since you don't have it, you feel insecure. So the fear is not created out of the thin air. It's created through your thoughts. We're not talking about wild animal attacking you or a truck about to run you over. That's not the kind of fear, or somebody after you. You go to the authorities and there are laws and ways to handle those things. We're talking about fears that is created through thoughts. And most of the fears in life is created through thoughts. And so when your thoughts start engaging in comparing to what it was, let's say last night I had a stomachache, I don't have it now. Will I have it tonight? Or how will it be tomorrow? I just created fear by having gone through a time of last night. And even if I don't know time, but the fact that something was, and compared to what it is, I created time. So my thinking created time. And that comparison between that time and this time, how things are, how things could be or should be, creates fear for me. So really, what is creating fear? Is it the actual not attaining what we want to attain, or the things, or is it my thoughts that creates the fear? Which means I am fear. I am the fear that I'm fearful of through here. So maybe something for you to ponder, and perhaps that brings you a little bit more balance and focus on what it is that you should be focusing to, not let it to turn into your fear. Is the basics of life, which is most of the time available abundantly. Hope that will do something for you to think about, and I'll talk to you soon.